Creepshow episode 3, All Hallows Eve and the Man in the Suitcase. Now, this dropped yesterday. I didn't get to it because I was checking out some of the October 11th releases, which there were a lot. I got to check out 3 of them, but then I also got to watch this. And I was really excited about this one because David Bruckner from The Ritual, the director of The Ritual, which I thought was one of the best horror movies of this decade, in my opinion, was directing this second segment here. I did not catch who directed the first segment, so I guess it possibly could have been him, but I did not see. I did see that he for sure directed The Man in the Suitcase. Now, this opening here, I had complained in the past on this show that The Creep was pretty one note, that his shtick was going to run dry because he has no dialogue or any kind of interesting gimmicks to him. It's just kind of like he laughs and he walks away, and I guess that's supposed to be creepy enough to get you on to the next one. But so his little wraparound here where he's carving a pumpkin, someone knocks at his door, he kills him, he brings back the teeth and the eyeballs, and he puts it, I don't know if he brings it from them or if the teeth and the eyeballs were already in the pumpkin, doesn't matter, he spins it around, and it's got a really creepy look to it. I did like that, but as usual, he is fairly one note. But at least there was something interesting going on. But we're not here for the wraparound. We are here for the segments. Now, the first one, All Hallows Eve, is a pretty sad one. So what I took from this, spoilers obviously for the rest of this, but what I took from this is that these kids come back every year and one by one systematically get back at the kids who were responsible for their death. Pro tip here, a prank is not setting a tree on fire that people are currently in. You know, that's not usually going to turn out all that well. Now, I do not think that they blocked the door or anything. I think that just so happened to be a bad set of circumstances there, just kind of one thing after another happening. But regardless, you don't set a tree on fire. You don't set a tree on fire ever, for any reason. Okay, so that's just not okay as it is. But especially when there's people inside of it, what did they think was going to happen? Did they burn down the whole town as well? But they come back. Now, they only kill one kid per year. It's All Hallows Eve, so that's when they can come back. And every year they come back, they also antagonize their families, even if they've already taken their kid. I'd like to point out that one of the families is the Kittners, and so one of those was the Kittner boy. Cookies and kudos to anyone who can immediately identify what that name signifies. Anyway, or is attached to, should I say. Now, did the families deserve to continue to be antagonized? Were they responsible? Was this a nature-nurture kind of situation where they created these evil little shits that would do this? I know that it was a prank, so I guess technically they didn't mean to kill them, but as I said, you don't set a fucking tree on fire with people inside of it and, you know, not get all shocked when they accidentally die. But as I said, the parents, are they really responsible for this? Should they continue to be antagonized? Why don't they move away during the year? Doesn't really matter. But in the end, they go for the last kid, which I guess once he's killed, that's that. Their unfinished business has been finished. Now, a terrible decision on the CGI that is under that ghost costume on the kid. I don't know if that was to cover up bad practicals that they had chosen or if that was the intention all along. Either way, it looked dreadful, but if their intention was CGI from the beginning, that's bad intentions. It just looks piss poor and it takes you out of it immediately. Plus their faces like melting into skulls or whatever, or falling apart. Terrible as well. Just dreadful looking. So that's a shame. Other than that, I mean, once they finally get their revenge or their vengeance, I guess they're going back into the graveyard, and that's that. And it's sad because these were some young kids that were trick-or-treating still at this age. What age did you stop trick-or-treating? Because I want to say I probably was these guys' age. I was probably like 14. What do you think age these guys are, and what age did you cut it off? I remember going out with my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles freaking pillow sack and just getting as much as I possibly could. But yeah, I want to say 14 if my memory serves me correctly. That was the last time that I went out, but maybe it was later. It definitely wasn't younger, because I remember I went out with Mike Gates and one of the times, and I did not meet him until I was in the 8th grade, which is 14. So I think I went out with him at least once, maybe twice. So 14, 15. What age did you stop trick-or-treating? These kids look maybe around 14, 15. So this would have probably been their last year, but it really was their last year on Earth as living beings. So now they have to come back. Now, yeah, it's pretty sad. I mean, obviously, the two, the guy and the girl, are into each other, and they never really got to be together. And she gives him a little kiss on the cheek, which, if this is the last time you're ever going to see him, I mean, you might as well at least go for the lips. But, you know, that's what she's got, and she gives it to him. They go back, and they get into their graves, and that's that. It's sad. He says his goodbye to his brother. I wish we would have got to spend more time together. He never got the girl. The other dude's just hungry all the time, so that seems to be all he cares about. I guess they're not feeding them in limbo or wherever the fuck they reside all 364 other days of the season, or is it just like a quick, like, you know, they go in, they come back out, and it's a year later? I don't know. Overthinking it as usual. All right, so the next segment is directed by David Bruckner. I did not catch who directed the first, but as I said, at least with the second, I do know that he did this, and man, he delivered, because this is bizarre, but that right kind of bizarre. So this kid who's this total stoner, he, his girlfriend has left him because he's a loser, he's not going anywhere, but she's like, hey, call me if you ever get your shit going. Yeah, right, that doesn't mean fuck. I've actually had that happen when I was a young kid. And I did try to get my shit together, and she actually left me for that Michael Gates that I was just mentioning not a couple minutes ago. Irony. But yeah, so this one was out there, man, for real. It was like, oh, okay. I didn't know where the hell this thing was going at first, but he finds this guy in his suitcase, and he's all wrapped up like a freaking contortionist. And when he tries to pull him out, this guy is in pain, and when he's in pain, he shoots gold coins from his mouth. And so he takes the coin in before helping the guy more, gets it appraised, and gets like $250 for it. Something around that. And then takes it to his shitty roommate, and his girlfriend shows up after she was looking to get her stuff and calls him a murderer. They go up there to find this body, and then they decide to torture the fuck out of this guy once the roommate realizes that this is their cash cow, so to speak. And man, they just brutalize this guy. Now, one of the things that they have is like one of those old school fat shakers. The thing like comes around you and it used to like shake you, and where the did they get that? Did they like go down to the freaking antique shop and like, what the hell, am I missing something? Is that for some other purpose now? But it looks like those old exercise machines that just shook you, and I guess your fat was supposed to fucking come off. But I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, okay, I guess just because he's all, you know, if you move him at all, it hurts, and so they're just shaking him, and just, how much is enough? How much is enough? Now this, of course, comes down to greed, and that's what this Jinn, I'm assuming, because there is foreshadowing of that when he's watching the TV. He sees the Coke bottle commercial or whatever, you know, soda you want to say, and the genie pops out of it. So that was a little bit of foreshadowing for the Jinn genie. And yeah, I mean, it really is just testing their greed. And what would you do in that scenario? I mean, it's always so easy to be like, oh, I'd be the right I'd be the good person. I'd do the right thing. It's like, yeah, would you? Would you be Aladdin? Would you give your third wish to free the genie? Spoilers if you haven't seen Aladdin. Jesus Christ, where you been? But yeah, just, I don't know. I mean, it's such a ridiculous scenario. It's hard to imagine actually having to deal with a guy in a suitcase, and every time you touch him, he's fucking gold shoots out of his mouth. I do have to say that they have so much gold at one point. I'm just like, dude, he's like, oh, you want this, like, he cites some car, like some like freaking Camaro or some car, and he's like, man, you want that car? It could be yours. Could be yours? We've gotten millions and millions of dollars out of this guy by now, but they just get gold fever, They go straight like Thorin Oakenshield or Thrain or whatever. Okay, I'm not getting into the Lord of the Rings Hobbit shit right now, but yeah, they just get full on gold fever, and our main character here finally is just like, enough's enough. Now his girlfriend, who's a piece of shit, and his boyfriend, his friend who's a boy. See, girls get to call their girlfriends, and no one thinks it's gay or questions it at all. But when a guy can't call his guy friend his boyfriend, it's weird. It's a double standard. There's plenty of double standards. We're not going to get into them, but I always find that interesting. Anyways, so the girlfriend is fucking her. Well, I guess it's his ex technically, but she's screwing around with the other guy behind his back. Shocker, shocker. And then after that, he wants to stop it. He's done. He's had it. He's like, we got to stop. That's it. You're going to kill him. I never wanted to be an accomplice to murder. I just wanted some money. I wanted to get out of this hole that I was in. We have plenty. And of course, the greed in these guys is just over the top. And so the girlfriend takes him, hits him, and he falls down the stairs. Now, this was kind of odd to me, that the blood that was pooling on the carpet next to his head, it could have been the lighting, it could have been I don't know what, but it was like, it looked like piss. It looked yellow. It was not reddish at all. Maybe it was my screen. I don't know, but I was like, is that gold? Is he leaking gold out of his head? Am I missing something here? Did he get turned into a djinn as well once you, but no, because the genie bleeds red, so that wouldn't make sense. So yeah, I don't know. I know I was stretching there, but regardless. So they go back to shock him again, and they didn't pass their test, I guess. They had till the last second to change their minds and go along with him, and when they didn't, they sealed their fates. He comes up, and he's like, uber super genie, and, I don't, see, so at the end of this, he has them in luggage as well, just like him, along with multiple other people who obviously failed the test. What is he doing with them? Is he sending them off to now be genies, and it's just going to kind of be a widespread thing and testing everybody, or what? I don't really exactly know what he's doing. Is like, he's keeping them, he's collecting them, he's the collector now. I don't know what's going on, but it is kind of cool that he has so many things of luggage there, so many failures of this test. And then the airline that he flies on, they don't even care that the bags are screaming and moving around. She's just like, for someone as loyal as you, anything. So I don't know if they're in on it. I don't know if he has a charm on him. Whatever, they take him on, and this kid gets a note saying in the hospital that anytime he needs him, he'll be there for him. I don't know if that means he gets another wish or what, but man, this is just such an interesting episode. It's like, it's a horror take on something like a genie, which we've seen many, many times, but never like this. So I had fun with this. I think they could have went a little more outlandish or more ridiculous with the torture of the genie, like start cutting off parts of his body and really fucking him up and go gory and nutty. I think that would have made it more fun, but the segment is fun, and the one that was before that was just kind of sad. So overall, a pretty good episode. Probably my favorite of the three, just because of how strong I felt this episode, or this segment was, the second segment. What do you guys think? How are you feeling about this show? Where are you at? Where are you ranking these episodes as they sit, or the segments? Let me know. Adios.